I think with the fact that Disney's like super upset and they're like worried that the public's going to be confused when they drop their Rachel Zegler trailer. I
Yeah.
think
anybody's
by
gonna be
nature
confused.
of Daily Wire putting out this trailer really quickly, or this teaser, just to get it out there before Disney releases anything, is already a troll in and of itself. You either say George Lucas is a genius, or you say he got lucky, because
He did. He got
have
lucky.
people-
He's a hack and a fraud. He got lucky.
You always say that. I don't
That's
know if
what
I agree with
that's
that, but sure.
he's not a genius. He's a guy who had a good idea and he got it made and he did a good job.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wise Works podcast, everybody. Welcome to the studio and happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, unless you're a Patreon
Friday.
supporter, whereas you get it early. So that's a good reason to go to the link in the description.
Oh, it's not there yet. I was about to say happy November. It's not quite November yet.
It's not.
Not.
No, we got a
this
couple
is
days.
coming out. This is coming out. What, the 27th?
Yes.
Yeah, right
Okay.
before Halloween.
So real close.
Oh, happy Halloween. It's the week.
Yeah, there you go.
Before Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, happy ween.
I'll say we don't have like a really strong Halloween episode, and I don't think like it, and you know, to be fair, what are some of the Halloween hits? You got a weird Thanksgiving movie.
Halloween.
That's like a horror film. You got Halloween wasn't there's no Halloween coming out this year. You got Friday Nights at Freddy's.
What are you talking? I'm sorry. Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Halloween movies coming out this year.
Coming out.
Oh,
yeah, I was confused too.
I don't
That's
think
why
Friday Nights at Freddy's. All right. Yeah. There's a Thanksgiving movie. The Nun 2 came out about a month ago. All right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there?
Meg 2.
Meg 2. That's not a Halloween
movie. That's
movie.
been out, hasn't it?
No,
it's been out.
Really just came out. It's
about
a month maybe, but
it's been streaming.
It's a thriller, so I guess around Halloween-ish.
No, it's not meant for Halloween.
I'm gonna say it is.
Look, let me Google this real quick to see if there's one that we're missing. Just for the people that are interested in, picking a fun this year movie for Halloween.
I don't think there's any coming out like on Halloween.
No,
well, to prepare
Flower
for it.
Moon came out last weekend, and we talked about that on the live stream on Monday. So,
yeah, there's Thanksgiving, Five Nights at Freddy's.
A lot of stuff that already came out, which means
stuff that already came out.
The Pope's Exorcist has been out, and and I'm kind of thinking like, why do you think so many people release their movie Before Halloween?
Well, because people are celebrating this whole month, really. I mean, it's like Christmas. When do you celebrate? You celebrate between December 1st to December 27th. And then after that, you're basically like, okay, we got to think about New Year's Eve and then the New Year. And we're not thinking about Christmas anymore. So
The Exorcist Believer, which I heard was crap, has come out. Which, by the way, I guess it's not. Let's just touch on this. Okay. So a lot of people are upset at The Exorcist Believer because the first one is uniquely, it's building on this idea of Catholicism and exorcism that actually takes place, and it kind of like makes it almost more frightening for the thrills, but it's based on the ground storytelling of Catholicism and the belief system there, correct?
Yes.
So Exorcist Believer removes, well, it doesn't completely remove it, but it adds everything else. So they basically, to spoil it, if you want to watch it, that's fine, but just cover your ears for a second. What I heard is that they save one of the girls, not both of them. They save one of the girls, and they do it through everybody, like voodoo doctors and the Catholic Church and like Protestants and Buddhists or whatever, like this whole group of people that are like demons and exorcisms are common in every religion and culture. So they basically say, like, we're taking a uniquely demon possession grounded story that is based in Catholicism and how that should look, and then adding everyone else's like inclusive religion for exorcism
Wow,
into
how
this story.
progressive. It's like
It's so
everybody
progressive for
matters and
exorcisms.
I know there
everybody's
was
opinion
some
matters.
stuff about the patriarchy in there as well.
Definitely. And the thing is, it's not like you can say, oh, well, we're doing something new because they have returning characters. So that old lady that's in the new one, she was in the first one.
Yeah.
So you can't say this is just like a new telling of Exorcist. No, this is Exorcist number 2, and you ruin the story. And so a lot of people are upset about this. A lot of people are upset about Exorcist Believer. They also said it's not that scary.
Dang.
What, you guys got any plans for Halloween outside of this podcast and taking care of your baby?
We were gonna do like a party thing, but we canned that. But John, Mark, Ethan, and I, our costumes are so like specific that we think we're just gonna wear them to like our church event.
Wait, what church event?
There's a like a fall festival thing.
Are you guys going as Ham, Shem, and Japheth?
No, we're going as Rick Astley, who sings "Never Gonna Give You Up."
All three of you.
Yes,
you're all going as Rick Astley.
Yes, because in the video he wears 3 different outfits.
So
he wears a double denim outfit. Yeah, pull it up.
Don't pull up the music video because you will get copyrighted.
Well, we understand.
But
okay.
Just Google Rick Astley from Never Gonna Give You Up.
How do you spell his last name? Astley?
Astley. Astley.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it should automatically pull it up.
So let's see. Share this to him.
So John Mark has the pinstripe, the white pinstripe.
Yeah. So John Mark's wearing that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it shows. Does it show the other outfits?
So here's another outfit.
Okay. So I'm wearing the turtleneck and trench coat.
Okay.
Yeah,
what's Ethan gonna wear?
Ethan's good. He wears a double denim outfit.
There's a double denim outfit.
There's a double denim in the video. Yeah. It's somewhere.
Hold on, let me just look up. I'm never gonna give you up.
Yeah.
Where's the denim?
Okay, so the sunglasses.
Is it that one with the sunglasses?
It's at the top, yeah, with the sunglasses.
Oh wait, so there's a fourth outfit. I might be able to jump in on this action.
No, it's 3. This is it.
Oh, just 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that shirt denim?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's wearing a double denim tucked in shirt with sunglasses.
I cannot believe how weak this
No.
guy's chin is. He's got the sharpest nose and the weakest chin. He looks like that dude from who plays the vampire, the creepy vampire that's a part of the Order on Twilight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes.
He has a facial structure similar to his.
Which we just watched last night. That's so funny.
You watched Twilight last night? Red Dawn or something? Breaking Dawn?
Well, New Moon.
New Moon. Yeah.
Breaking's New Moon. Dang. I think why were you guys watching Twilight?
It was Ethan's idea. Ethan's
Ethan's like, I got to get me some of that. Oh, I'm going to say this. I'll say it now, and I'll talk about this other thing later before we get it. So did you guys, I saw something that was so maddening, and I don't want to get political here, and I don't want to linger too long on this. I think it's important for us to react to. Something like 52 actors, all right? And they marketed this on Andrew Garfield, Kristen Stewart, and Robert Pattinson, and 50 other people, you know what I mean? Or 49 other people, actors, have signed a petition for President Biden to call for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
What?
That's what I said. I was like, how disconnected do you have to be?
Oh, they're
honestly know that
they're being Hollywood people are being fed a narrative, and they just take it at face value because they're idiots.
Do you honestly? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because literally, the point of this war is that Hamas is not cease firing. They're trying to get into heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They are
And
trying to be martyrs.
what's the point of our president of the United
Yeah.
States calling a ceasefire to other countries who are fighting?
It's because they think that the president has some kind of control over other nations, and
Our
that's why
president has no control over anything. Have you
he
seen
has no
him?
control over his bladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see pictures of him recently? What's up with his chin?
His chin is divoted.
What happened?
They
Did he
what?
fall?
I don't know, dude.
Dude,
No,
his
I have not
chin,
seen this.
his chin is all messed up. I don't
just
know
saying.
why.
These actors are so freaking dumb. I
Mhm.
mean, how can you act like Andrew Garfield? How can you be such a brilliant actor and then sign something that is so ridiculously brainless?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest
Oh,
thing
it
I've
is.
ever heard.
What?
Hold
Yeah,
it up so people can see,
what?
Joshua.
No, they've seen
Hold it
it.
up
They
the
can look
picture.
it up themselves.
Hold up,
Yeah,
hold it
what?
up. People want to see what we're
What?
talking about. Stop saying what and freaking hold your phone up.
I'm trying.
You
Hold
just keep
on.
saying what? And
Wait
I'm
a
asking
minute.
you a
What?
question.
Hold on.
I think if people want to see it, they can go look it up.
Yeah, you can't see it probably very well. I don't
Yeah,
even know if the camera's gonna focus on it.
his chin is
Caved
all
in.
weird and caved. Yeah, like almost caved in the middle.
Like they shaved the
So-
bone off and his skin's
yeah.
just hanging there.
I don't know what they're doing to that man.
I'm
Oh,
starting to
man.
wonder if it's not even him, if they're just getting someone in a
No, I think
mask.
I think they're just trying to hold him together.
I saw an ad.
with duct tape.
I saw
and-
an ad with him on a black background being like, fellow Americans, if we're going to win in 2024, I'm like, bro, you are not going to be going for the presidency in 2024.
That dude
You're not
is
making
not
it, dude.
winning.
You're not even running, bro.
presidency.
It would
You
be
can say you're going to
wild
run.
if he did. If he
It's
won,
not. They're not going
it
to.
would be wild.
It's not going to. It's going to be
If he
Michelle Obama.
won,
Michelle Obama is going to announce her running, and the whole Democratic Party is going to say, "Yeah, we're backing Michelle Obama." They literally have done. This guy's been doing research on the Obamas for so long. She's done everything that Barack Obama did right before he announced him running for presidency.
Interesting.
Like it's like writing 2 books. It's like going on a specific kind of talk show tour. It's like doing certain charitable work and having like a family foundation website that is for like black history or black supporting something, and it's literally copy for copy exactly what Obama did right before he announced that he was running. So Michelle Obama's gonna be running against either Donald Trump or whoever gets in 2024.
I mean,
And they're not letting. I said I didn't want to get political. They're freaking not letting Joe Biden run.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think his doctor's gonna let him.
I think the moment his presidency is up, he's like, like in a
might
movie,
die.
he's gonna take one step and actually just wither away and turn to ash. He's gonna fall.
He's gonna
over.
turn like he's gonna become like Uguay. He's just gonna
Mother Gothel in Rapunzel. He's gonna fall and it's just gonna hit the ground. It's just gonna be clothes.
we're gonna hear like 2 months after he's not president anymore that he had died like a couple weeks prior, and the family wanted to keep it secret.
But really, he died year 2 of the presidency,
and we're gonna be like, we went freaking 2 months without a president, and no one knew. Yeah, it's gonna be a wild next year, and it's almost I'm almost glad we're not a political channel because there'd be too much to have to talk about. It's almost too
we
much
might get
to
a
talk
lot.
about.
We would get a lot of views.
Yeah, but you get your spike in views every 4 years is what happens with that. But so with all that said, let's get to the first topic. I want to
Okay.
And also freaking actors, keep your mouth shut about anything that's happening in politics, especially if it has nothing to do with America. All right? Keep your mouth shut. You're a bunch of idiots. Keep your freaking mouth shut. Bentkey. This is something the actors should be talking about. This is definitely something the actors should be weighing in on because this is your industry. So Bentkey has done something interesting to Disney, and Disney's kind of freaking
Can
out behind the scenes.
Okay, so Bentkey is not a well-known thing yet. Can you just briefly explain what Bentkey is? Because I looked this up to clarify what Bentkey was, but
Yep.
people might not know.
So Bentkey is the Daily Wire kids streaming platform.
Yeah, so
So
it's
the
like
Daily
a
Wire has created a let's just call it
subsidiary of Daily Wire.
let's just call it a Disney Plus for Daily Wire. It's where they keep all their kids content, right? They have cartoons that they've produced. They have kind of like a Blues Clues learning with this lady here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And now they have released a teaser, which is wild, for Snow
Spider-Man.
White.
2. Spider-Man
No.
2.
No,
Spider-Man
Snow
2 on the
White.
PS5.
No, I
That's
don't know
all I'm
what's up
seeing
with.
here.
I understand that. It's kind of crazy. That how hard the Hollywood Reporter is pushing
Promoting the-
Spider-Man 2.
You know, I
Um,
kind of want to buy Spider-Man 2 now, though.
Honestly,
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll-
it's working.
This segment is not for Spider-Man 2. It's for Snow White and what is the movie called? Snow White
so
and
Snow White and the Evil Queen.
Evil Queen.
So this is a teaser,
By-
and this is them jabbing hardcore, not only to capitalize perhaps on getting more subscribers for Bentkey because they have spent a lot of time working on this streaming platform, but they are also doing jabs at Disney because Disney has sucked, and also they are constantly promoting woke ideologies in children's
this is also
content.
this is the biggest opportunity to do something like this because
Oh yeah.
the Snow White promotion has showed how much Disney isn't curating their own like actors and directors in what they say, and they're just kind of letting whatever happen.
Exactly.
And not it almost doesn't even feel like they're not making movies for kids. And
They're
so
not.
And I don't know if this is a well-known thing yet, but I'm pretty sure Disney is, because of everything coming out with Rachel Zegler, they've stepped back with letting Rachel Zegler take the reins on promoting this film. So it's almost like they're still on strike, but they're not.
Well, so this
They're-
is
She's
okay.
not
So
promoting
this is actually an interesting point. A lot of people online are saying the way that this teaser for Bentkey is structured is interesting because they do the reveal almost like, "Hey, everybody, look, this is what Snow White's supposed to look like." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she does the reveal of her face, like, "Hey, I'm white." You know what I mean? And it's and so Disney's from what I've heard is that Disney's lawyers are freaking out on the Daily Wire and saying, we are demanding a copy of your script to see exactly what this story is telling, because if it resembles the original cartoon Disney version of this, if it resembles that story, which is different from the book, which is open source, anyone can make a Snow White story, kind of like the Huntsman. That was a Snow White story that was different than the Disney version, and they were able to do that. If it anything resembles, especially the Disney version, the old Disney version, then
the
they're basically
dialogue
going to
I'm
get
thinking.
possibly they're probably going to get sued big time. I don't think the Daily Wire is that stupid. I think
Yeah, they definitely looked into it probably.
I think they probably, and the background of people like Ben Shapiro and the other guy who co-owns it, Benji something. They both are lawyers, I'm pretty sure, before they got into political commentary stuff. So they're not stupid when they're running this business. So I'm pretty darn sure
And
this is not going to be a copy of the original Disney version.
so I do want to talk about the actress, but I was trying to look up some stuff to see if she was saying anything. Brett Cooper, who's playing Snow White, see what she was saying about the film, if she had put anything out on it yet. And she, on everything I've seen so far, she specifically says, like, if you go and watch some of her videos, she's like, I'm excited to be part of this Snow White movie because I was a big fan of, and she says the grim fairy tales that, or like she specifically
Right.
says like
She
Mhm.
references the book, not the
original
Disney
great-
movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you can
Interesting.
tell that like they're being very careful with it.
Well,
And that's good.
here's my thing. I think this is good.
It's 100% good. We need to jab Disney as much as we can.
Yeah, I think this is good. My only concern is that aside from Brett Cooper, and I haven't seen their kids' content, but
Mhm.
the Daily Wire has not shown like any ability to be like creative, like
Yeah.
No.
like actually
That's not
like
entirely
create.
true.
And if anything, they have more often than not criticized creativity and art and
Well, Ben
movies and
Shapiro has. Ben
TV and
Shapiro's
comic
takes on
books
movies.
and manga and anime and just
They
everything. And so I'm hoping that whoever is in charge of making this movie knows how to be
Mhm.
creative.
Well, to be fair, also Ben Shapiro does his hot takes, and his movie
Mhm.
reviews a lot of times are trash. The
Yeah.
only one I agreed with is Dune, and he's done
Yeah.
a lot. So, but he also has people in the Daily Wire personality sphere that's a
Mhm.
part of the company, a part of the platform, who disagree with him on movies and will have debates on their channel about
Yeah.
why a movie is good. And
Yeah.
so I
And
don't
that's
think
good.
Ben Shapiro's opinion is not representative of the Daily Wire. You know what I
That is
mean?
true. But it is, the Daily Wire almost sits in this no man's land a little bit because they're conservative and that's what they are, but they don't cater towards, I've heard a lot of like, I guess, Christian conservative people not dislike the Daily Wire because the Daily Wire is not Christian based or
Mm.
anything like that. And like, even I've heard a lot of criticize from like Jordan Peterson's Exodus that just came out not too long ago because of it's not Christian, but they're trying to do some kind of thing. And so they do sit in this kind of no man's land of like,
Mhm.
who consumes their content a little bit. They
I think
clearly have some people,
it's
but
it's
who that is, I don't know.
everybody who values conservative
Mhm.
ideology, I guess.
Mhm.
And whether you're Christian or you're Jewish or you're atheist, I mean, literally, they have. He's not on the Daily Wire. I believe he's more a part of the Blaze, which is very
Mm.
similar with Glenn Beck. But you have Ruben,
Ruben?
something
Good
Ruben.
sandwich.
Well, he is it Ben Rubin? No, I can't remember his name, but he's gay, all right,
Mhm.
but he's a conservative and openly gay, and everyone knows it. But yet, a lot of people, he's in this sphere, and a lot of times, gay individuals don't mesh well with.
Conservative views.
Well, I was
Conservative
going to say
communities.
conservative Christian communities.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's the thing. I think people get a lot mixed up is that, that they're the same, especially the left. It's like
mhm.
Yeah.
they're the same thing. Conservatives
Well,
and Christians.
Ben
It's like they're
Shapiro is not
always
a
the same.
Christian. He's
No,
No,
he
he
Jewish.
doesn't.
doesn't, yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
claims
Jewish.
not.
And so yeah, I think this is good because um the the
We need
entertainment industry
competition. We need competition.
the entertainment industry has been co-opted for so long by um liberal ideology,
Yes.
Yeah.
or people on the left who are in Hollywood, and there's a lot of them.
Mhm.
There needs to be competition, and
Competition from
entertainment.
conservatism,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, good competition from conservatives, um, because otherwise, if you want the conservative values to continue, you have to.
Do it yourself. You can't just force someone else who doesn't have those
Right. And
ideologies
if
to
you're
make it.
worried about your kids, well, nothing right now in entertainment is really like
leading him in a great direction.
Yeah, they're if anything, they're going so far as to make sure there's views that you probably don't want them to see in
Yeah.
child entertainment.
And I think we're probably going to see that with the Disney Snow White. I
Mhm.
mean, with even how they're handling the seven dwarves. Like
Yeah.
they're going to use terminologies and certain things with the seven dwarves that I wouldn't even want my daughter even exploring. I
And
don't want
the way they talk about it isn't like how you should be talking about a kids movie,
No.
right? Where
No.
we're telling a different story, we're doing this, we're doing that. You know, no, you should be talking about it like it's for kids.
Yeah.
Um,
They've lost their way. They want kids to be sexualized. It's pretty
mm,
clear because if you're that's the whole issue that Disney had with Florida for the past handful of years,
mm,
and that's the don't say gay and all the stuff that Disney and Hollywood made this big issue over with Florida. And you know, the Daily Wire is also in Florida. It's in Miami, I believe, is the headquarters.
mm,
So it was, remember, it was like Disney versus state of Florida. It's because Florida is, with Ron DeSantis, a conservative, politically conservative state. All right.
mhm.
And then Florida is so incredible. I mean, Disney is so incredibly liberal with how they push things, but they're not their headquarters, but a big chunk of
Yeah.
Disney is here in Florida. Right.
Mhm.
Big
Yeah.
chunk. So
What do you guys think about the actress that's going to be playing Snow White?
I like Brett Cooper.
Yeah, you think she's
I
going
mean,
to
I
play a
like
good
her.
Snow White?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, who
I don't
else
see any
in
reason why not. Yeah. Um,
I don't have any issue with it. I mean, I don't think that I brought this up a couple days ago with you guys. I'm not sure if she might be the fairest in the land. No
mhm.
Yeah,
offense.
yeah.
But in order for like a evil queen to want to kill you over it, but
Okay.
I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah.
Is there
You know?
She's
anybody,
pretty enough.
that's she maybe not a super well-known public figure or just a well-known person that you'd be like, I would kind of like to see maybe, I don't know, this
With dark
YouTuber or
features,
this. Yes.
Mm,
No. Yeah. Dark features. White dark features. That sounds weird to say, but
white dark features,
like the dark
Mm.
hair and the
yeah.
pasty skin.
pasty skin.
I have no idea.
None
Nothing
off the
comes to
top of
mind.
my head.
None that aren't in the Hollywood system. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
No.
And I think
yeah.
it's going to be super hard to even think about casting for some movies like this because Hollywood is only liberal.
Mhm.
So when
Yeah.
you're taking the liberal out of it and saying we're actually going to do competition towards the liberal ideology for entertainment, then you're saying everybody that's in the current entertainment system is kind of already in with liberalism.
And
So even someone like if someone like Chris Pratt were to do a Daily Wire film, he's out of Hollywood. They're not going to let him back in.
Mhm.
So there's a
Yeah.
big question, even though he's a Christian person, I don't know if he will make that jump.
Well, it's going to take a little bit more than just this movie. It's going to take they're going to have to actually become a serious competitor where their movies
They already have
are
like
in,
3 movies out that didn't hit very hard.
movie
You know what I mean?
theaters. Yeah, where their movies are dominating movie theaters. That's when I think it'll start becoming more like, oh, well, we can do both.
Yeah. They got to.
And you
And
know
They got
what's
to pull some
funny?
Angel
Freaking
Studios.
Angel
Mhm.
Studios is the ones that's dominating movie theaters.
Yeah.
They put
And
out
then
one film and it hits.
I think it's smart to go with Brett Cooper for this one and not like try to cast somebody
Someone new.
that you don't know, because
Yeah, she's
we
well
all
known
we
right
all
now.
know Brett Cooper. She has a big audience online, so it makes sense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is something like, because I don't watch her stuff, but like I've seen enough of it to be like, oh, I know who she is,
Mhm.
and so it makes me question, be like, oh, I'm interested on how she can do this or how she's playing this role. So I'll just like
Yeah.
check it out, even if I don't want to really watch it.
Yeah. You know who would probably do a movie like this in an instant?
Hmm.
Dennis Quaid.
I feel like Dennis Quaid would be into
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
he would definitely be into this. He's
He would
already
play
in
like
like
the
the vid
huntsman.
angel. He no, not the
Mhm.
yeah. He could be the hunter guy, but he's already in the universe of like the cheesy Christian film.
Mhm.
Dennis Quaid is, but he's also touched Hollywood, and I think Dennis Quaid could definitely get connected with movies through
Mm.
Daily Wire or Bentkey.
I feel
Um,
like I know I feel like Mel Gibson would somehow get involved as well.
I think all Daily like Ben Shapiro or somebody at Daily Wire would be like, we want to fund like 3 of your next movies,
Mhm.
and whatever they might be. I mean, he's, and honestly, I don't think he would do it, but you get these guys who are pretty heavily Catholic in
Yeah.
Hollywood. They're going to lean this way harder. I mean,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know if someone like Mark Wahlberg would make the jump, but
No, I
he's
don't think
really
so.
heavily
No.
Catholic. If you follow him on Instagram, he's
Yeah.
not ashamed at all.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make him necessarily conservative, but it makes him more likely. If you're religious, you're more likely to be open to something like this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we'll see. I think, like I said, I think it's going to have to be making some pretty big waves. Clearly, they're working hard on their marketing here, um, with their font, their
With the sparkles, it
key, the
feels kind of
sparkles.
like
It's
Disney. You
the
know what I
blue
mean?
background. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be very representative of Disney. Even I mean, even the sound of the name Bentkey Disney,
Disney,
it's
true.
Mm.
the same kind of sound.
Hey, but you
So,
can't criticize us. We're literally
Bentkey, it
Wisener.
kind of sounds like Mickey.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it's all the things they're doing here with this image, with the sound of the name. It's to create imagery in your
We're
head.
trolling a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
think we're
think a
trolling a
little.
little bit. I think with the
But,
fact that Disney's like super upset and they're like worried that the public's going to be confused when they drop
mhm.
their Rachel Zegler trailer. I
Yeah.
I don't think
think
anybody's
by
going to be
nature
confused.
of Daily Wire putting out this trailer really quickly, or this teaser, just to
Mm.
get it out there before Disney releases anything, is already a troll in and of itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like I got to be careful how I say this, but two Jews fighting.
Oh gosh, what does that
He
even
says,
mean?
"I got to be careful about how I say this."
I gotta be careful. I don't even know what
Gotta
you're
be careful about how I
analogizing.
you
say
know,
this.
your Hollywood Jews and and
And your
your
Daily
Ben
Wire one?
they
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, dang it.
Well, wasn't Walt Disney Jewish? Was Walt
I don't
Disney
yeah.
know.
Jewish?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think
Let me
so.
look it
I feel
up.
like
That
he
would be a good
was.
thing to know. I don't know why it would be a good
Ben
thing to know.
Shapiro's the new Walt Disney. I mean, Ben is in this name.
True.
Ben
Ben,
Key.
yeah. I'm
Let's see.
curious
Was
the
Walt Disney
origin of that.
Jewish?
How they came up with Bentkey.
I don't know.
Fact check if Walt Disney an anti-Semite or racist. Um, Walt Disney, were you born
You
in a
know,
Jewish home?
I mean, I'm not sure. It's for me. It's like either he was Jewish or he hated the Jewish.
He hated.
I'm not sure what.
maybe I
You
shouldn't have
know,
said anything. I was just thinking about that.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
not seeing it right off the bat.
You got to
sometimes
shock them.
sometimes we think things in our head that we shouldn't say.
Right.
I mean,
Right. And sometimes if you really have to think through if
Oh,
you're
no.
thinking I got to be careful how I say this, then maybe keep thinking
Maybe.
about it until the moment feels right to where it's really not going to come
oh, it felt
across as
right.
weird.
It felt right for
Felt
me.
right.
I'll probably get hate for it, but at least still get people
100%.
talking about it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we have enough views necessarily to get people hating that
Well,
hard.
we
You
did
could
say
title
we
it
did.
to.
We're not titling a podcast Two Jews Fighting.
Well, we
No,
did
the
say
clip of
we
it.
weren't. You weren't going to get too political. Then we proceeded to get very political.
Yeah, and then talk about
But I
Sort
Jews.
mean,
of.
we're talking about Hollywood stuff, and anytime you're talking about big Hollywood things that are happening, especially with Disney, and then you're talking about the Daily Wire. I mean, come on, It's gonna
And we
happen. It's bound to happen.
started with the war in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. This is heavy already.
Yeah.
A heavy
Do we have
podcast. I
Big
need someone to fart.
Patreon to thank? Do we got a Patreon to thank?
We
could
do have a
run it
Patreon
down.
to thank.
Shelby.
Thank you, Shelby, for being a
Shelby.
Patreon supporter. Thank you for enjoying the content early. Thank you for being available month over month to have your names in the
Yeah.
credits of the podcast. Thank you for being such a
friend.
wonderful consumer of the perks that you get for being on Patreon. And if you also want to be thanked for such things, go to the link in the description and choose the tier that best fits your content needs. Joshua and Wyatt are talking about doing a movie commentary for Secondhand Lions to honor the
Good
great
movie.
Michael Caine and his career.
Mm-hmm.
And those are always a good time. What was the last one you guys did?
We did Mission
Mission
Impossible last
Impossible.
time.
When are you guys going to hit up Prince of Egypt?
Ooh,
I've
maybe we
already
don't have to do a 2-for-1
I have
special.
already said.
Maybe we gotta
if
do
we do
2-for-1
movies, if
special.
we do movies that we really, really like, it's harder to do commentaries on them
Okay.
because we sit there and we just watch the movie and we go, "Wow, this is such a good movie."
Okay,
Wow.
so
That's not interesting commentary. That's not fun.
we
You wanna
talked about
joke around.
this. I haven't asked her specifically. Maybe Wyatt needs to, but I did say, and we've dabbled in saying we want kind of a female perspective a little bit. And I asked Wyatt, would Lydia want to jump in for a few watch parties? Maybe.
I mean, I'm
Mm.
sure she would.
I
Try
think
it out.
that it'd be different, and so maybe we do Prince of Egypt and see if she's interested or has some.
But tell
time
her to be
record
cynical.
that.
So she, every time you guys say something that's like just glorifying
See,
it, she'll
she
just go like,
loves the she loves the movie, so she
Well,
wouldn't.
if
be
she
cynical
takes a
either.
cynical approach, she can be like,
See, that's
I've
why
drawn something
that's
that
why
looks
I
that
feel
good.
like we. That's why I feel like we need to watch something where we're kind of
Critical.
where we can be more critical, right? Where we know the movie's
Maybe.
not perfect, you know.
You guys need to hit up Jurassic Park. Did you already do that one?
I would love. We did
No,
Jurassic
we
Park,
haven't.
didn't we?
You used to do the animated drawings
we
for
did.
Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yeah, and I drew a T-Rex,
I want to say we did.
right?
We
Well,
did,
listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
To cover this up, those are exclusively on Patreon. So if you want to hang out with the boys during a movie, and you could just play their commentary while playing your movie on the TV simultaneously and listen and have fun and hang out with friends. But you can only do that
with the
on
boys.
Patreon. Thank you,
And-
Shelby, for being a supporter. The other thing, before I get to the next topic, I wanted to bring this up. Have you guys heard of the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Yes,
Sure.
I've seen it.
Joshua, have you heard
Pretty
of this?
wild.
Maybe. What
right.
is it?
So check this out. I'm just playing someone's video here. So in Las Vegas, there is a new stadium, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this stadium on the outside is all LEDs, and on the inside they have a stadium that is just you have like stadium seats and then a wraparound LED
You're
wall.
inside a giant ball. Yeah.
Inside a giant ball. Now hold on. Where is it? Get to the point. Okay. Are we going to show it? Or are we just going to look at Las Vegas? Here it is. So this is the Sphere.
What?
This is a stadium, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is LED wall, okay? This is a new experience for people who are, and it's the biggest sphere structure in the world, all right? This is the previous biggest one. And
It kind of sounds like, what's the Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah.
The
Mask
studio
or
they built.
Truman Show.
No. The
Truman Show.
The Truman Show.
Yeah,
Sort
but this
of.
is like this is all LEDs on the outside.
They can put whatever they want up on it.
whatever they want, anything.
So I believe they did.
Expensive.
So
How
like
expensive was that?
this is I believe it was 20. Was it $2.3 billion to make? So this is like them putting
What?
the moon on it.
Oh,
and-
that looks so cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and like if you like, let me see if I can find where they showed the eyeball on it.
dude,
This is actually
seeing the
very
inside of it
Mm-hmm.
is
This is-
incredible.
Let me get through this ad
Skip
real
past
quick.
the sad.
I'm gonna get through this ad. Hold on. But there was a. It was originally displayed on the 4th of July. This is the first time it was
Mhm.
lit up this past 4th of July, and this is what they were displaying on it. Isn't that so freaking
That's pretty
Hold
American?
sick.
on, I'm okay.
Oh heck yeah! So they're putting all kinds of stuff. This is just the outside, all right?
Mhm.
And obviously like so this is pretty cool for like they did NBA ball. They
Sick.
did
Oh
eyeballs.
man,
Check out that eyeball.
the
You know what I'm
giant eyeball.
saying?
I saw a giant
Ooh, that
like
looks
little
weird.
emoji smiley face on it one time.
Right. Okay. So the inside, I'm bringing this up because this is going to be a new form of entertainment for people to
Mhm.
watch, and we'll get to like the sound, uh, physics, or at least the ideas around the sound system inside this thing. But when you go inside, this is the stadium, and you can display anything you want around the whole thing. Right? It takes 8K footage. All right, which means it has to be filmed in 8K, special
Okay.
360-degree cameras in
Yeah, you need
8K.
We
special.
All right,
need
not
we need one
8K,
of these here in
18K.
Atlanta.
Mhm.
There, I think in the U.S. there's plans to do a few more around the world, but the next one's going to be in the U.S. is going to be in New York.
We
Um,
okay. We got to get one here in Atlanta. Let's
this
build it.
is you're not
Let's
going to
build it.
build it. This is $2.3 billion to do. All right.
We'll raise money for it. You
This
know,
is the
I'll get
camera
a couple of investors.
Listen, this is the camera
This camera.
setup that is required. It's called Big Sky to capture footage that can be put on this wall. So
Yeah.
they had some
Whoa.
footage of an elephant, I believe, not too long ago. But it's kind of like actual footage of things. I think they've done a few concerts in this already where
Mhm.
artists are performing on the stage, but
Yeah.
then they can put an environment. Like I believe there's someone was filming on Instagram or posted a reel where it looked like they were in the desert. You know what I mean? It looked like a stadium was in the desert. You know, and so yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and it's just like this new form of entertainment. So it's also kind of like, what's it going to be for moviegoers to to
It's
see a
cool.
movie in this format, because you're not only seeing a window, your
Yeah.
entire peripheral vision is
Uh,
captured for this world, right?
you too performed at the opening um of the Sphere, like the
That's really
opening
annoying.
concert.
That's that stupid YouTube band. You remember, if you guys have an iPhone, you probably remember this. If you use iTunes, so
Mm.
U2 put like iTunes gave everyone like an album from U2 on your phone, and it
Mm.
never is removed. I still have that freaking disturbing cover photo of U2 from one of their albums in my iTunes, and I can't get it out. Like it's just stuck
Huh.
there. It was years ago this happened, but whatever. Um, all that to say, the sound system is so incredible. I think it's a 17,000, 18,000 seater stadium, and 10,000 seats are interactive. So
Wow.
it can vibrate, it can move, it can do all this stuff. The sound system, it's also, the seats, you can feel wind, you can feel mist, you can feel climate changing.
Mhm.
There's also the sound system is set up not for each individual seats, but it's set up in such a way that every seat has perfect acoustics across. So you can
Mm.
sit in the back, you can sit in the nosebleeds. It doesn't matter. You're
Mhm.
hearing it perfectly, and you're seeing everything perfectly
And the
on the wall.
interesting thing I think is people are going to start planning
Shows for
concert
this.
show
Yeah.
experiences. That means they're going to have the camera crews going out, getting footage, grabbing pictures, doing all sorts of things for the inside of this dome, and really planning out super cool, interesting
Yeah.
experiences.
And so pull in
That's
the volume technology using Unreal,
Mhm.
and you can create anything you want. You want to
Ha
talk
let's
about
get let's get the whole audience uh, on that Avatar, flying through
exactly.
Pandora ride. Let's
Pandora.
all be on
That
it
would
at
be
the same
cool.
time.
Yeah, to
Exactly. That's
watch
what
like
this
the
will be able
next
to
Avatar there
accomplish.
on that.
Mhm.
So it's of course it is a Las Vegas thing, and a lot of people there's concerns that they don't think this will work everywhere. It works for Las Vegas because of the power grid, because of the flashiness
Yeah.
of it. A lot of people say it's going to put off way too much light pollution in certain areas. A lot of people say it takes too much power. A lot of people say it's going to cause a lot of car accidents because people just look at it instead of looking at the road.
Mm.
So there's a lot of issues around this, but it works for the Las Vegas setting.
Yeah,
I
it
think
does.
once they start showing movies on this in some fashion or experience, we're
That's pretty
flying to
cool.
freaking Las Vegas, boys. We're gonna
Mhm.
Yeah,
see
I've never
or
wanted to go to
experience
Paying
the
Vegas
sphere.
until right
$6,000 for a
now.
ticket.
We're gonna experience the sphere. All right.
Yeah.
At a certain
I've
point,
never
we're gonna
wanted
get
to go to
ourselves in there.
Vegas, but only to see this, I want to go.
What
Yeah.
happens when they start making mini spheres?
I think they've had that.
Baby spheres.
I'm pretty sure Disney World has that.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
So probably not as fun.
Not as cool as this.
Not
This
as
is
cool,
wild.
but
The crazy thing is the inside technology is insane, but then to choose to make it a spectacle for the outside as well, instead of it just being like a fun dome, it's now a visual experience for the outside as well.
Mm,
That's as Las Vegas as it gets, right?
yeah.
I mean, I was just wanted to bring that up because that's gonna, and I'm really curious what's going to pop off more. Is it going to be large scale, expensive experiences like this, or is it going to be like what we have been talking about with the gaming and metaverse world for entertainment? Like, what's
a
going to be
little
the
bit
real
of
pop off? Are we talking full 360 real world experience with expensive technology you can't even get your mind around, or put on a headset and enter a world of entertainment? You know what I mean?
well,
I think it'll be headset stuff.
I think that's going
I
to
think
win over
one
something
the
like this.
headset's gonna be for the everyday person because
Mm.
it's marketable and small enough to get in everybody's hands. Something like this is gonna be an experience that you do
Twice in
and
your life, maybe if you're lucky.
yeah, like it's gonna be experience rather than like in everybody's hand. But
Yeah, whereas if um a VR technology where I mean we're already seeing Apple's already on the ball with theirs. If we can get VR technology really boiled down and sized down into a manageable mask,
Which the
um,
Apple one is manageable.
it is. It's got a lot of problems, but they're working on it. So uh, once I think we get that hammered out, people are going to be like, you know, why do I need to go to Las Vegas when I can
mhm,
go online and walk
and
around?
yeah,
I
experience
can
that.
yeah, I can walk into a building where it that has no walls,
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, 40,000 stories
Mm-hmm.
out into space.
And you're walking to experience it rather than sitting down and just
Yeah,
looking.
and like this we have in this virtual world, we have a building that goes from the Earth to the moon, and you can just walk. You can just be out in space.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't know.
out here.
Mhm. And you
I don't know.
you can gamble, or you can watch movies, or you can and you're sitting on a plane meanwhile this whole time.
Mhm.
Right, right. Well, I feel
That
like
wasn't
the
a
VR
segment.
experience. Yeah,
No,
it
it's
wasn't a
just
segment. I mean, it truly was. I wanted to just keep bringing this up because I feel like every couple weeks we got a new
Something new.
technology that's going to
Mhm.
change entertainment for how we know it.
Yeah.
And the entertainment hasn't quite reached it yet. I mean, the only thing that it's really reached is the volume technology.
Mhm.
Outside of that, all this new tech that is going to change the industry hasn't quite
I don't
caught yet.
see.
It hasn't quite what?
I think the changes are when big cameras get small, right?
It
Yeah,
already
When
is that.
when
it's
you're
already that though.
the biggest quality resolution starts
Yeah.
getting to this size.
Yes,
That's
we already have
when
that. We already
yeah,
have that.
that's when you're filming stuff, and that's when everything's changed and
Dude,
everybody can do
the creator was shot on a camera that's this
it.
big.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've held
That's
the camera they
incredible to
used.
me.
Not
And
the
I watched it
exact
in
camera,
IMAX.
but
It's not the exact camera, it's the same brand. It's the
Mhm.
same type of camera, not the one
Yeah.
that it's not the same camera that Greg Fraser held,
yeah.
but it's the same type of camera. It's the Sony FX3.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's an IMAX movie shot on a camera this big. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's incredible. And Sony be out here.
They
Sony
They
be out
do.
here creating some crazy freaking cameras. Now,
Sony's in front of me right now.
let's go actually to what I do want to talk about though. So there's
Star Wars.
Star
Mm.
Wars. There's been some rumors, some thoughts. There's nothing confirmed, all right? And I think that we need to take this time to really share our thoughts about what we actually want,
Mm.
pros and cons kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Why you be doing
So,
this to us?
doing what?
You're
Making us think about stuff.
Well,
It's
no,
important.
not-
That's the whole point of podcasting.
no, making us having to to hit up the Star Wars controversy.
It's not even controversial. It's literally just a guy's thoughts that is going to ripple in the industry as everyone being like, "What do you? Let's see. What do people think?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So Matthew Vaughn
Mm-hmm.
would want to remake original Star Wars movies with new cast. Let's bring it on. All right. So this is actually a conversation I believe he had during an interview podcast kind of thing, where
Who's
Matthew
Matthew
Vaughn,
Vaughn?
he is the guy who's doing the new Argyle movie. He also did First Clash X-Men, and he also
Okay.
did the Kingsman.
Class.
First Class. I always get
Mhm.
that confused.
Clash.
What is Clash in?
I don't. Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, yeah.
Yeah.
First Class, X-Men, and the Kingsman movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, I don't think he would be the right director to do it,
No.
but that's kind of beside the point. The thing I'm trying to get at is, what do we think about a remake of the original Star Wars?
We have too much original remakes already. Why are we remaking something that does not need to be remade?
Yeah, and this is going to be a hot take.
Make it as hot as possible then.
Make it that Carolina Reaper.
Stop touching. Don't leave Star Wars alone. Don't touch it.
Okay.
Okay, not as hot of a take as you thought. Stop messing with Star Wars. Don't touch the original movies. Don't mess with the original movies.
Don't remake the original
movies. Everything that comes out of Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill's mouth taints the original movies more. We don't need it. Stop saying things about it. Stop messing with it. Leave the movies alone.
Right.
Leave them alone.
And freaking, I mean, there's arguments that like George Lucas himself ruined the series with the prequels. George Lucas himself ruined the series when he let Dave Filoni make the cartoons. You know, George Lucas himself ruined Star Wars by giving it to Kathleen Kennedy and Disney. You know what I mean? So, and this is his franchise. So if we were to look at this and say, what director? Because then there's also been, you know, theories of Chris Nolan potentially getting his
I don't want
hands
to see that
wet
either,
with,
honestly.
well, we know his next thing is going to be James Bond, but what would Chris Nolan be like if in 10 years from now he touched Star Wars, you know?
No.
Well, you keep saying no, but we also are filtering it through the Disney Star Wars lens. What if Disney gets rid of it? What if it's not under Disney anymore?
Okay, but who's going to take it?
That's what I'm saying. Who would we trust to take it? Why?
Nobody.
What?
Here's the problem. It's at this point, it's a $2 hooker. Who's going to touch it?
Yeah.
What respectable person in their right mind wants to mess with this property? Nobody. Because
this guy, Matthew Vaughn.
He's
insane.
He's talking out of his ass. He's not even, he's just saying this to say it because Star Wars is always a touchy subject. And he's got a new movie coming out. So
right.
Nobody's going to want to, because nobody, it's pretty obvious that nobody can make anything. No, I'm sorry. Somebody can make Star Wars content that people like. I know they can. All you have to do,
the creator of Andor did it.
All we have to do is tell good stories. That's it. That's all you have to do. Tell good Star Wars stories. And make them entertaining and sometimes serious and sometimes fun. And
Right.
Mhm.
uh um their fantasy adventure movies
Yes.
and books and things like that. And that's all
Yeah,
you have to
but
do.
I think Star Wars was a universe of one guy's imagination. It was
Hmm.
George Lucas's idea,
And he kept
and
changing it and making stuff up.
yeah, I think we need at this point we need a new guy to come along because there's people out there not well known that have a new world. Give us a new world, a new thing,
Zack
and we will
Schneider's
build on
doing it
that.
right
There's
now.
also
Yeah,
people that are very extremely well known who are doing this. I mean,
yeah.
there's people
Give us an Olin Rogers
there's
universe.
yeah, there's writers and stuff that have been doing this for years, creating worlds and characters on par with Star Wars and
When
better
are we
than
gonna
Star
see?
Wars,
Well, when
actually.
are we gonna see
Give us a
some of
live
that?
action Godspeed.
Look,
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say, what about the uh, George R. R. Martin's sci-fi books or writings? He's written more sci-fi than fantasy, but we only know his Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much.
What about his sci-fi? He's
Um
most of his career has been sci-fi. I'm interested in what he has to say
and
about sci-fi.
there's tons of adventure fantasy sci-fi out there, going back all the way to like the 70s
Yeah,
for
Dune.
for like how many decades and decades of writing like Star Wars, the
Mhm,
same as Star Wars, better than Star Wars,
mhm.
that nobody's put to screen because everybody's concerned with Star Wars. It
Yeah,
was one guy who had an adventure fantasy idea that worked. It
which
worked.
honestly, if
It
Why
you
do
did.
you
listen
think?
to the way he talks about Star Wars, George Lucas, he it he definitely put his heart and soul into it, but he didn't really it wasn't a hallowed idea.
Yeah.
It was literally, which one do I want to do first? Do I want to do an archaeologist who has a lot of adventures, or do I do this kind of space opera thing that
And
might be interesting
he
in
just
visual
kept
effects?
adding stuff. He just kept making stuff.
Why do you
He was
think that is?
making stuff up.
Why do
He
you think
was, and
that?
he's been doing it the whole time until he sold it.
Why do you think that his story became the holy grail of sci-fi space
Visual
movies?
Because
effects, visual effects.
it was the visual effects,
Mhm.
Why
um,
didn't
The
and the
charm of
music.
Harrison Ford. Darth
Starship
Vader.
Troopers or something like that?
Starship Troopers was a parody.
Well,
That's why. It
just like
wasn't.
something random that came out.
No,
Why did
Star
that not
Trek
get so
came out before
popular?
Star
because
Wars.
it's an adventure fantasy. It's adventure fan. It's everything kids read when they were or adults read when they were kids, and then you
They
see
saw
it
it
on the
on
big
screen.
screen, and these characters were fun. They were interesting. The music was incredible,
Mhm.
absolutely incredible. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it, is getting people to believe in the story because of the music, and because of the visuals. The visuals were awesome when it came out. So it was just this epic adventure. And that's
And
why
that's
it
the reason it
worked.
hit. Not
It
because it's
hit
an incredible story.
it hit so hard. And then there were tons of other things that tried to do the same thing. And it
Look,
just
you
didn't
don't get
land.
Star
It
Wars
didn't.
doesn't get an incredible story until the follow-up to A New Hope. When The Empire
Hmm.
Strikes Back, that's an incredible story, and that one was directed by somebody else.
Hmm. And then the third
Produced by
one
George
just
Lucas, yes, but
wraps up the story.
yeah. It just wraps up perfectly a good a decent pop-off film to a great film, and then it wraps it up nicely in a satisfying way with the third one.
Mm.
The trilogy works together perfectly, with the best part being in the middle, right?
Mhm.
Um, but it's really, the initial pop-off was not because George Lucas is like, "I'm gonna make the movie of the century." He said he literally wasn't sure if he was gonna do Indiana Jones first or this one. Like,
Yeah.
he had these 2 ideas, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. Which one does the studio is the studio ready for me to try?" You know what I mean? And then they said, "We don't think you can make it happen, but you did American Graffiti and it did pretty well, I
Mm-hmm.
guess." So they're like, "Well, you're creative. We're gonna let you have a shot at it." And so he did it, and he did it over in, you know, Europe because
Yeah.
there's a studio there that was ready, that was had the ability for the ideas he wanted to try. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
America didn't have a studio for that. So, um, so yeah, I don't know. I think to remake this original trilogy, first off, we already know the story, so there's no surprises there. If you change the story, you're going to piss everyone off,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want to see any other actors except the ones we already know.
It's gonna
Like we
be,
don't
and
want to
yeah,
see
you're gonna be constantly critical of every actor playing
we
because
don't
you're
want to
not.
see a
And
reimagining of Darth Vader.
yeah,
Or even of Harrison Ford's,
it, Han Solo,
Scoundrel.
yeah,
Han Solo.
because he is that character.
He's a
Mhm.
scoundrel.
Hamill is Luke, and Carrie Fisher is Leia. If you try to do, uh,
And for some reason,
try
Ewan
to do it
McGregor is
again,
Kenobi.
well, I mean, both the he was that's the other thing is like he managed to embody that character in the
Yeah.
prequels. So
And
yeah,
Hayden Christensen.
you're not gonna get the um all you're gonna get is criticism. It's gonna be like, well, this, and it's also nobody needs it.
Also, Matthew
No.
says he's acting like it would be fun and exciting to reimagine these characters and to, you know, reimagine the story as a whole. But like, bro, I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're
No.
ready for your career to be over once you make something
Yeah,
like
it
this.
also it maybe it's fun to imagine, but it's not fun in practicality. It's already been imagined. It's been perfectly imagined, I would say.
For what
On
it needed
on
to be, it's
on
been
the
done.
screen, it's been perfectly imagined. We all have fun with it every time we watch it. Why does it need to be done again?
Also, Disney's proving right now that all of their reimagining and storytelling, modern storytelling added to Star Wars sucks and no one likes
Mhm.
it. Like if you want to go reimagine, uh you have to reimagine almost nothing that follows the legacy Star Wars trajectory. So
Mhm.
like Andor, you know, where
Yeah.
you
Otherwise you add lore, which is what Filoni's been doing, is adding lore,
exactly.
and people are like, "Can we stop this?"
Exactly. The adding lore that Disney and Filoni's
Mhm.
been doing is people don't like it. And
No.
what Andor did is it added zero more lore, but it gave you a new perspective on some interesting behind the scene characters that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Like freaking Skarsgård's character in that embodies the mentality of the rebellion during that
Mhm.
time. His long speech about saying, I'm giving my life for the rebellion. It doesn't matter if I live or die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even Andy Serkis's character of the kind of background his character had, and now
Mhm.
he's in prison. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's so much depth to these stories that honestly are inconsequential for the Skywalker saga. It's
Yeah.
inconsequential, but it's fun to enjoy because it doesn't add lore, because it
Mhm.
doesn't add complexity where it doesn't need to, because it doesn't change the character of who Kenobi is and who Darth Vader is like Kenobi did, which all
Mhm.
Yeah.
fundamentally changes their characters, and it sucks the way they
So did
changed
the
it.
prequels.
So did the prequels.
Fundamentally changed what a Jedi was,
Mhm,
which was originally an order of space wizards.
mhm.
Now
What the
it's an
Force was?
Yeah, now it's an order of uh
Ninjas.
ninja wizards.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like
Barely wizards because
monk ninjas.
well, the
Yeah, that
wizard part was because the Force is this ethereal magic almost
Mhm.
that these wizards can tap into, and then the prequels made it, oh well, no, it's kind of like a scientific thing you're born with, and it can be
Yeah.
explained and trained. And
It
now we get to the point where Sabine's just learning the Force in a few seconds. You know what
it's
I
yeah.
mean?
almost like originally it was, Obi-Wan was a general, but also a wizard.
Right.
He was like
Mhm.
a General Kenobi. He was a general in armies, but he was also like a wizard. He was part of this wizard order. And the same with
Yeah.
Darth Vader. He is like the second, like the right hand to the Emperor, and also an evil wizard.
And also with Yoda. Yoda's like the Yoda, what in the original trilogy was like the Grand Master Wizard or whatever,
Yeah.
and then we see him in the prequels, and he's just a part of the. I mean, he sits next to Samuel Jackson, right? And he just makes wrong decisions when he's supposed to be like this all experienced, hundreds of year old
trains people in the Force.
grand wizard. And I'm not saying the prequels ruined Yoda, but
Well,
they
maybe don't say
definitely
Grand Wizard.
Well, that's true. I keep saying grand wizard. I actually was saying that. I didn't. My brain didn't know
It's
where
a
I was
different
getting that
kind
term.
of wizard.
Different time. What a great wizard, like an elder wizard or whatever. And almost the prequels didn't ruin Yoda, but they definitely got rid of the magic behind who he was and the revelation of who he was in The Empire Strikes Back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the remaking doesn't need to happen, and the lore adding is annoying. And honestly, I don't think anything good's ever going to come out of Star Wars until Disney gets rid of it. And even then, we'll see who picks it up, if anybody. You think George Lucas would take it back?
I hope not.
He's too old at this point. He's not. He doesn't. I don't think he wants to.
Well, let's see this
like that.
You either say George Lucas is a genius, or you say he got lucky, because
he did. He got lucky.
People,
he's a hack and a fraud. He got lucky.
That's what I was kind of getting at, because
I don't know if I agree with that, but sure.
He's not a genius.
Look,
he's a guy who had a good idea and he got it made. And he
was
did
the same
job.
age. He ran with friends like Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. They literally went to the bars and played pool and discussed their movies together.
He knew who to talk to. He knew who to get to make his movies.
He rubbed shoulders with all the right people. And he went to film
school. He had a fun story to tell. He's not a genius.
I don't think he's a genius, but I think you don't give him credit for, yes, he had Star Wars. Maybe Star Wars wasn't the idea, even though it's become a big thing. But like, he had other things that he did. He's done things like,
Indiana Jones was good because, that's Steven Spielberg.
It's Steven Spielberg and it's John Williams again.
It's Indiana Jones is George Lucas's idea, but the execution of the character and the ideas is Steven Spielberg.
And also, he's a lot of these movies and TV shows. A lot of these movies that he did, Indiana Jones was based off of the adventure epics that he watched as a kid. Star Wars was based on Dune and the Shirakawa, like
he
samurai.
Might have copied a few things,
samurai
but he
movies.
Still has ideas. You have to think he has ideas.
They were good ideas based off of fun stories that he enjoyed, that everybody enjoyed.
How about this? Instead of calling him a hack,
made
or just
doing it down, he had them made.
Let's say this. Let's say he's not like the greatest storyteller, but he was ambitious to try something.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
He was ambitious to try something.
Be the person to make it, and he was the person who made it. But I think everybody who was like, "Oh, George was a genius," no, he
not
wasn't.
really. Storytelling is lacking, but that's not necessarily why we love Star Wars.
We love it because it was made, and it was made well.
Yeah,
we love it because
it was made. That's a really good sum up.
We
love it.
It was a story. It was a story everybody needed. Yeah,
yeah. It's not the best story, but it's the one we needed.
I would love to be around when I don't want to see a new one being made to kind of round this out, but I would love to capture the essence.
Just have a conversation with our mom
when this movie came out. Like,
our mom always said, she went to the movie theater like 5 weeks in a row, just over and over to watch this movie.
Yeah, our mom has talked about this. Our uncle has talked about this, where just when it came out, it was such like a phenomenon of a movie that people were watching it like dozens of times because they just wanted to watch it again because they were so fascinated by it. And I want to have a movie like that. The last movie I saw twice in the theater and it was great, but I wouldn't say it's like a phenomenon, is Top Gun Maverick. I've never had a movie where I'm like, I'm going to go to the theater and watch this 5 times because I love this movie. I want that again. We need a movie that needs to be seen in the theater, 5 times. Can you imagine if like a movie, let's just say Dune, for example, if Dune
I
was
think
so good that, no, let me say this, it becomes a $1 billion movie, but everybody who got it to $1 billion watched it twice, so it became a $2 billion movie grossing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
that would be awesome. I honestly think the last movie that had potential that got people to the movies twice was The Dark Knight. Do you think?
I think there's maybe been a couple since then, but
Maybe.
there's
I don't know.
no. I think a lot of the superhero early Marvel stuff was getting people to watch it more than once.
Yeah.
Avengers,
like
Endgame.
Endgame was good.
Yeah. But like, yeah, no, I would like to experience that. My dad has stories for like the first Star. His dad had a heat gun,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, you plug in the heat gun, but it was one of those ones with the long kind of barrel.
Mhm.
And he was a kid. He cut the wire off of it
Just so
because
he
it
can use
it
as
looked
gun.
like Han's blaster.
Mhm.
He said it looked just like Han's blaster. So I
honestly,
cut the cord
knowing
off
it-
of it and went around. Pew, 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 pew.
knowing George Lucas, he might have just taken a heat gun and been like, cut the cord off and give it to
No,
Harrison.
he took it's a German pistol.
Yeah.
And they retrofitted like a scope and some other stuff onto it to make it look cool, futuristic-y.
Thanks for explaining my joke away with logic and facts.
Oh,
Yeah.
I assumed everybody
Freaking
knew
it all.
everybody knew how the DL-44 pistol in Star Wars was designed and made.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Nerd.
What?
So let's go ahead and get to the last bit because you guys,
Okay.
I feel like you guys have a lot to say. I have less to say. I think it all looks good, but I have less to say. So Netflix released the pictures of the lead
Let me
characters for
full
the
screen
Fire
this so I
Nation.
can see it really good.
The
They
Fire
released
Nation.
pictures for like everybody.
They did?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
he didn't
everybody.
get all the
Oh
photos.
boy.
Hold
He didn't
on.
get all
Where
the
did they
photos.
get that? Because I only saw the Fire Nation, and when we talked, you said the Fire Nation.
No, we said Avatar.
Whew, okay. Well,
Man.
let's go through the Fire Nation, and then
Okay.
I will pull up on Google everybody, okay?
Okay.
Literally, I looked up Avatar pictures, and all the articles said Fire Nation. So why
That
did they
might
not
have been
include
the
everybody?
first thing that came out, and then they released a bit more.
Probably.
movie.
All right, so let's go through the Fire Nation. We got Mr. Fire.
Looks cool. Oh, hey, look.
Mr. Fire.
That's Fire Lord Ozai
Yes,
for
yes,
all of you
Ozai.
who don't know.
the big bad.
He looks cool. He looks good. I'm
He
not
looks
Looks
gonna
like you would
hate.
want him to.
He looks
He-
clean.
Look,
but
but
he looks
he
okay.
is the Emperor.
Mhm.
So he is the Fire Lord. So looking clean is not a complaint on my
Now
end.
I don't know if this is where his throne room area, but them fires behind his head.
Yeah.
You know how in the throne room he just
Mhm.
surrounded by flames?
Yeah, just
Yep, and
sitting behind the
Maybe
road.
emblematic of that.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
think
sure that's where
pretty
they
cool.
are. It
Yeah,
looks
and
like they're
he's reading the
planning.
Dragon Warrior scroll there.
Yeah, it looks like they're planning.
Battle tactics.
Battle tactics,
Yeah.
which we saw a bunch.
Who's this fella? I can't remember him.
This
Isn't-
isn't Uncle Iroh,
No,
is
no,
it?
it's not Uncle
absolutely
Iroh.
not. This is it looks like a General Zhao.
Oh, okay.
Could be General Zhao.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be General
Um,
Zhao
Is he the one that had confrontation with
with Zuko. Yeah,
Zuko a lot? Speaking of Zuko, how you guys feeling about
Okay.
this fella? Because you guys love
Um,
Zuko so much.
Zuko's a great
yeah,
character.
and as we were talking earlier, it's really hard to bring characters who everybody kind of knows in their head
Yeah.
what they want them to be. Playing a character like Zuko, who everybody
He
loves.
should have just got freaking Dante Bosco.
Dante Bosco is almost 50.
He could at
Alright.
least voice him or something, just
No,
Okay,
I'm
just do a
they gotta throw
voiceover
him in
for an
here.
actor?
no.
Um,
I would like to see this actor maybe throw a little bit of Bosco's voice into his tone. He doesn't have to
yeah.
do it 100%, but just a
I'm
little.
actually we got a lot more photos, but I just really quickly wanted to say this. I have not seen it, but the One Punch, or not One Punch. What's the live
Piece?
action anime
One
thing that just
Piece.
came out? One
One
Piece.
Piece?
One Piece.
One Piece.
Because I have not watched it, but everybody was very pleased with it, and they were like, "It's good." So I am looking forward to this a lot more now because there's potential for it to actually be good.
Alright, let's go to the next one. She doesn't look mean enough. She's got, like, this
No, she
she's
doesn't.
I'm
got
gonna be
this
honest, this looks like AI art.
It does, kind
does
of.
kind of.
Does this not look like AI art to you?
It's a little clean, yeah, but this is not
Joseph
AI
just
art. This is
pulled
what
up
Netflix
AI art.
released.
This
No,
is
this is
that
what
came out
Netflix
from the movie.
released.
Okay.
I will say she looks a little too
Cute.
cute.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
looks a little too cute to be Azula. But
When does
that
this actually
doesn't
come out?
mean she can't do it.
Right. So what do you guys think of the uncle?
Okay.
Kim's convenience fella. He plays in Star Wars a lot, right?
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
I'm not mad
I'm not
at it.
either. I'm not
Uh,
either.
I expect your best Mako impression.
My best?
Not you,
No,
him.
no, not you.
I don't even know
But
who that
while
is.
you're
expect
offering, you want to give us one?
um I what does he say? Prince Zuko, you need to drink more tea. Things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tea.
I expect a voice like I expect a voice back here. Do you watch Mako in his movies and stuff,
Go
and
hard or go home.
yeah, exactly. And the voice actor who takes up um the voice in the series does a good job.
Hmm.
Yeah.
After Mako passed.
So let's take a gander at what I found here. We got the other characters. So this is Zuko again in a new setting.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm not mad at Aang. Is
Can
that
you
is
scroll
that
in a
arrow
little
a
bit?
little prominent for you guys?
It's a little bit low on his forehead, like coming
Hitting
down
right
to
at
his
his
eyes.
eyebrows.
I always kind of figured it was a little bit higher up because he's able to cover it up
With
Here we
hair.
go.
with
Well, hold on.
He's able to cover it
Oh.
up with bandanas and
But
stuff.
check this out though.
Well, yeah, I
It comes
guess
down pretty far,
it does come down pretty far.
right in between his eyebrows.
Okay, maybe they're doing it right then.
It looks like they're doing it right, but when you see it in live action, you're like, oh, that's
Mhm.
hard. That's hardcore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how is
Also,
he going to be able to hide that?
a little clean. A little clean. This photo looks a little
Mhm.
clean, but I'm okay with
It's
spicy.
almost always a criticism when
It's too
something
clean,
looks
yeah.
too clean.
Mm.
You things
It
need
kind
to
of looks
be
like a freaking Halloween outfit here.
things
You
need to
know?
be look, I'm not a huge proponent of taking and darkening everything to make it live action, but maybe dull up these colors a little bit.
A little
Make the
bit.
yellows
No.
make the yellow a little darker, make the brown, like the red brown, a little more brown.
Yeah.
Just dull up the colors just a little and make the stitching on the clothes bigger. It's simple. It's a simple thing, but make the
Maybe
stitching not so fine because that's what we expect to see today is
Right.
really, really super fine hidden stitching on clothes that
yeah.
brings everything together. But if you look at Lord of the Rings stuff,
It looks
like the
clean. It looks good.
it all looks good in Lord of the Rings, but you can also see large portions where it's uneven, where the stitching is off, where the costumes are kind of dirty and frayed.
Intentionally, little mistakes that the person who created the
Mhm.
outfit would have made without the precise technology
Yes.
or machines we have today. You
Yeah.
know?
Like, why is Sokka's outfit so clean? They live down. They live in like the poorest area. They're essentially Inuit tribesmen who
Yeah.
live in Antarctica. They
I know.
need their clothes need to be it needs to be like bigger cut, more
Put a little bit
squared,
of stains on them. You know
more
what I mean?
squared off cuts, much simpler, more bigger, more fur. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I in the Fire Nation, I think it's because it's all very dim and it's dynamic lighting, that you don't see that as much. It actually looks pretty good. But
Well,
then when you get like
the
this
Fire Nation,
overcast,
the
you
Fire
get
Nation also is also representative of
royalty.
like feudal Japan, which
Yeah.
was extremely uh which was more technologically advanced than
Mm,
other portions of Asia, which is what the show is based off of. It's based off of um different ethnicities in Asia, China and Japan and Korea, and so yeah, they're much more technologically advanced in the Fire Nation. So yeah, it makes sense that their clothes are cleaner and more intricate.
I am curious to see how this little boy, if he's gonna have enough expression to really grab Aang. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because Aang is so freaking expressive because he's
Expressive.
Yeah,
got
Yeah.
that
and he can't
young
be
energy.
he can't be serious all the time like the M Night Shyamalan
Yeah,
Aang.
we can't be little moody Aang. We got to be very fun, very
Because this is season one. This
ugh.
is season one Aang where he is avoiding responsibility. He
Right.
was like, because if you know the show, you know that in the reason he's lost and the reason he's in the ice is because he ran away when he heard that he was the Avatar. So he's now just woken up and
Still doesn't want to be.
he's avoiding his responsibility the entire first season.
Right. He's just
Well,
playing around.
that's if they go and do it basically off the whole season. They
Hmm.
might
Now,
stop halfway through or however Netflix is going to do it, but
so that's all they released. How about what's her name? Sokka?
Katara,
Katara?
Katara.
Sokka's the boy, brother.
yeah,
Katara. What do you think
uh,
about her?
it's good casting.
Mm.
I don't have a problem with it. Um,
It looks like she's bending water a little bit there above her head.
yeah,
That's fun.
I'm cautiously optimistic is the words I think I've been using for everything that's coming out nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
Cautiously optimistic. Anytime I see something new,
Just got to be cautious, bro.
yeah,
You cannot be full on excited
you
about
can't. It's
anything
almost like you can't be excited about anything anymore.
No.
because it's just going to let you down. So
Yeah,
hardcore
just
going to
get
let you down.
disappointed.
And it's really unfortunate that's where we are.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so here's an expressive picture of the actor.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
If he
You can
does
grab
that,
some of that.
Smiles,
yeah, if he does
laughs.
that, we're cool.
Hmm.
Cool,
Like I
cool, cool,
said,
cool.
I think right now there's potential for this to be okay and be good and enjoyable.
Sort of, maybe. But remember, there was controversy that the people that made the cartoon didn't want to be involved with this over creative differences.
Hmm. Yeah,
So keep that in mind. That that is a factor. So
it is.
the
Yeah.
people who created the series that you enjoy so much, the cartoon, have a problem with the way Netflix is doing this so much to they didn't want to be involved.
Yeah. We've been talking about this for so long now. I'm just ready for it to come out and see.
Yeah, I mean that's true, and it'll come out, and we'll be able to judge it clearly then. But as far as everything goes across, everything the Fire Nation, I guess, looks good. Aang's outfit is a little clean, especially when you got a lot of light, a lot of colors, and I guess we'll just have to judge it when we see a trailer. But I think that we're anticipating a few trailers right now. We're anticipating the Snow White trailer, and we're anticipating eventually this trailer,
Hmm.
right? And I'm sure there's a few other that I'm not thinking of, but one is what we for sure aren't going to like one, but it's going to show us a lot. Like we're going to be able to see the truth behind whatever these dwarf things are. And then with this, we just get a chance to see a general vibe across the board, you know?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a while back we talked about how long, like how much of the first season they're telling with this story. do you think it's going to be? Yeah, do you still think it's going to be kind of episode to episode kind of telling, or are we going to spend like hardly any time? Like most of the first season's not going to be told. You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot of the first season that you can skip, but I think there's significant portions that you need for, because the first season does a lot of establishing of places and of different characters like the I want to say the firebending master, Boomy, the Kyoshi warriors, lots of just different characters that they visit and meet that come in and help with like the invasion of the Fire Nation later on. The swamp people, the characters like the rogue characters out in the forest,
Right.
like Jet, just lots of characters like that they that they meet for an episode and help, or
Quest episodes.
they quest episode that come in later and are important for the story later.
Yeah, I think you got to
But-
be less questy and be more follow a story, and that's how you can
Mhm.
narrow 25 episodes per season down to 8 episodes for the first season. You know,
and they have to be longer episodes though.
yeah, and you also have to make sure that whatever important character development that Aang gets from a questy episode,
Mhm.
that you don't remove that character development from that episode as well. You have to make
Yeah.
sure that that is told in some fashion through something else, you know?
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see what direction they take this now that I have actually watched all of the cartoon.
Mm.
We'll see, everybody. Thank you
Mhm.
for being here. We love
Yeah.
you. When I was looking for stuff to talk about, almost this week would have been more timely to hit up Taylor Swift than last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything's Taylor Swift. I mean, Chris Nolan is commenting on Taylor Swift this week.
I mean,
Wow.
she's big news.
Chris Nolan
She-
said that Hollywood really made a mistake by not making a deal with Taylor Swift for theatrical releases, because how they did it is she herself made a contract with AMC theaters,
Okay.
Wow.
and that's how it got in theaters, not through Hollywood at all. And so Chris Nolan's like, yeah, Hollywood got screwed on that deal because they could have made so much
It's almost
money.
like Hollywood doesn't know how to make money anymore.
no.
Yeah,
They
everyone's
used to
died.
know.
Everyone
used
the people that used to make money knew how to make stories, make money, but they didn't know how to hire people to run the company in the future. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Going
Well,
back
it
to
was
George
so
Lucas.
cutthroat. It's so cutthroat. You don't want competition.
Exactly. Going back to like George Lucas, maybe he was innovative, and he gave it to Kathleen Kennedy. Say what you will, he gave it to Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. Well, she was there. She was there
She
from
was
the
there.
beginning.
Have you guys seen those clips of Steven Spielberg like just laying into Kathleen Kennedy, where she would like start giving her opinion during script meetings, and Steven
No.
Spielberg's like, "Why are you talking?"
No.
Like
Aren't you here to
sucks.
get coffee or something?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what he says.
Yeah.
Like Steven, I don't think is a fan of Kathleen Kennedy.
No,
I think
I
she
don't
was
think
just
so.
around because
That's funny. I would like
George
to see that.
Lucas.
No,
I wonder if they
think
had
she
a
was-
sexual affair.
It's possible. I think she was a like
Hoe bag.
no, I think she was a just like producer person. Go get stuff for George type person. Go find this person. Go talk to this person. Answer these. She was a secretary, I think.
Go tell Harrison to wait 5 minutes. I have to go pee. You know what I mean? That kind of person. He was. She was quite literally George's.
Very much so. Yes.
Ooh.